Alright, so the kids have gone to bed. I am now sitting down on the floor in Jackson's unfinished nursery. I've got his crib behind me, his little quilt, but there's still a lot of work that has to be done here in his nursery. So I've been doing one of these postpartum updates every month, and I really like filming them because it gives me some time to reflect on how I'm doing in all aspects of life, mentally, physically, emotionally, how Joe and I are doing. Like, there's just so much to postpartum like recovery and just postpartum life in general that I think it's really important that we chat about. So I really enjoy these updates. I hope that you guys have enjoyed them too. Thank you guys so much for always responding to that little question box that I put on Instagram, where you guys have been able to ask me questions, and I do my best to try to answer as many of them in these updates for you guys. So thank you guys for engaging with me in that sense. I honestly can't even believe that I'm sitting here 6 months postpartum. Like, half a year has gone by, and I feel like just my life is so different than it used to be. If you guys are new here, by the way, I do have Jackson, my son, who's now 6 months old, but I also have a toddler, Riley, who is 2.5 years old. So this whole adjusting to dealing with a very active and strong-willed toddler and handling Jackson, like, it's just been a very big adjustment for me. So I just want to start off the video by saying that I am going to respond to some of your questions in a second, but there are a couple things that I want to kind of just touch on this month. This month, I feel like I did have a lot of help because we were staying at my parents' house for an entire month. So I had a lot of help in the sense that my mom really took care of Riley a lot for me, and I just got to like focus a lot on Jackson. So I did have extra hands, which is always super helpful and appreciated when you have little ones, but I'm still tired. Like, I feel like a crappy person saying that because even though I had so much help, I am still tired. Like, I don't know if maybe I need to go get my hormones checked or if I need to go get blood work done. Like, I am gonna do those things regardless. At the very least, I'm gonna go get a blood test done because I'm just like exhausted. I am about to be 30. I'm gonna be turning 30 in August. But I feel like run down, you guys. Like, I always tell you that physically, like, my body feels good. Like, I feel like I'm in good shape, or like, I don't know, like physically I feel good. The postpartum recovery, like everything down there is feeling a million times better than it did with Riley. All of that is working fine, but I'm freaking tired. I feel like I'm 65 years old and like I should just be hanging out in a rocking chair all day. That's just one of the biggest things that I'm dealing with. All day long, I'm chasing after Riley and still attending to Jackson. Jackson now has gotten very vocal too, so he's like constantly, like, if I put him down for a second, he'll start whining and crying, and then I have to like go and get him and carry him and walk him around everywhere. And then meanwhile, I'm trying to multitask. I'm trying to make myself lunch, or I'm trying to get stuff done around the house, and I just feel like it's really hard. And I know that that sounds so stupid saying that, because obviously that's motherhood. It's very difficult, and I hate to sound like I'm always complaining because I love my kids and I love being a mom. I love being a stay-at-home mom, but I'm drained. I am drained, and I just want to share that because if you're feeling the same way, like, you're not the only one that feels that way. These days, I feel like the minute that I sit my butt down on the couch, like Jackson or Riley or both of them, they have like some freaking like sensor in their bodies that like the minute that my butt hits the couch, they're like, oh, we need to cry, or oh, we need to whine because mom just got comfortable. Jackson is still not sleeping through the night. We've still been having tons of issues with his sleeping. Like, the entire time that I was at my mom's house, at my parents' house, my mom did help me twice where she took the baby for the whole night, and that was amazing because I got like 2 full nights of pretty good sleep, and I am eternally grateful for that. But every other night, I would literally be waking up like every 2-3 hours throughout the night. Like, if I put him to bed at 8, then usually like around 11:30 when I would go to bed, I would feed him, and then after that I was up like every 2 hours at the very least. So I just haven't gotten good rest, good sleep, and I know that that's been taking a toll on my body. And I'm hoping that's really the only thing that's causing me to be so freaking tired. I hope that there's nothing else wrong. But like I said, I am planning, once we get back from all of our travels and stuff, on maybe getting a blood test done, check my levels out. I am still taking vitamins. I've been taking prenatals. I'm still using the Ritual vitamins that I got when I collabed with Ritual a couple months back. But that's like one of the bigger things that I wanted to like report to you guys this month. The fact that even though I've had so much help, like, I'm still really tired. But kind of like bouncing off of that concept, I don't remember where I heard this or where I heard someone maybe talk about this, but it's something that I felt like was important to share with you guys. It's okay if you don't love the newborn stage of being postpartum. Like, it's okay if you as a mom don't love dealing with tiny humans all the time. Like, there are different stages that your child is going to go through. Your child is going to be a preschooler, God willing, one day, and then they'll have their middle school years, and eventually they'll be a teenager, they'll go off to college. Like, there's different phases in your kid's life, and some people are better equipped as parents to handle a different phase of your child's life, if that makes any sense. So whereas I can very honestly tell you guys, like, as much as I love Jackson and Riley, and they are so cute at this age, and like, there are fun days and there are fun aspects of it, the dealing with a tiny human, it really wears on me. It's draining as of right now. As terrible as it sounds, like, I don't love the fact that someone is constantly 24/7 depending on me attending to them. And like I mentioned before, like, the minute that I sit down, someone is yelling for me or screaming or whining. Like, these years are gonna be hard for me. I am very well aware of that. But I really think that where my strength is gonna be is like dealing with my kids as they get into like those adolescent years where you have to have like those awkward conversations, and you have to, you know, have them open up to you, and you have to open up to them and teach them right and wrong, and you know, all of those hard, awkward times where your child's more of an adult. Like, I really feel like I'm gonna excel there as a parent, and that's really where I feel like my strength's gonna be. I think that emotionally I'm gonna have a lot to give my kids, and communication wise, and making those awkward conversations a little less awkward. Like, that's where I feel like I'm gonna be in my element. These years are gonna be hard. So that was something, I don't remember even where I heard it. It was like a conversation someone was having where they were talking about different stages, and you can be, you know, better at one stage versus the other. It just made me kind of think a little bit, and it was just something that I wanted to share with you guys because I had never really stopped to think about that. And sometimes when I start talking about how I'm tired or how I'm drained or the kids are stressing me out, sometimes I feel guilty, almost like feeling that way, or like, man, I feel like a crappy mom because I don't, you know, love every second. But I think that's okay, and I don't think that that makes me a bad mom. So enough with the rambling, otherwise I don't even think I'm gonna get to any of your questions. So let me open up Instagram, and then hopefully I can address some of the things that you guys have been asking me. All right, so the first thing that I've been getting asked a ton lately is about whether or not I'm gonna continue nursing Jackson. I am planning on still continuing to nurse him to some capacity. With Riley, I nursed her until she was a year old in the morning and at night. So once I started sleep training her at 6 months, we kind of like weaned, like she kind of weaned herself off of needing to be on the breast all the time. So I'm thinking that that's going to be the same with Jackson. Once we transition him to his crib and he starts going the entire night without eating, I think at that point my milk supply is going to drop, and at that point I'm going to give him formula during the day, and then I'm just going to nurse him like first thing in the morning and right before bed, mostly for comfort and just for my mental state, because I'm very emotional about the thought of completely ending nursing, because this very well might be my last child, and just emotionally it just makes me really sad to think that this would be like the end of a chapter like that. So I'm not prepared yet to completely stop, but I will probably kind of cut it down to just morning and night. Postpartum hair loss is another thing that I wanted to talk about because also I'm getting a lot of questions about it. I've talked about how my hair had been like falling out in chunks. Like every time I put up my hair, and I know that some of you guys tell me not to put my hair up in a ponytail, but sometimes, you know, like when the kids are on me all day, like it's just easier for me to throw it up in a bun or in a ponytail. Otherwise, like Jackson is constantly pulling my hair and it's just bad for everybody. But yeah, whenever I put my hair in a ponytail, like when I would take off the ponytail, like there would be tons and tons of hair all stuck to my ponytail. The other day I freaking vacuumed the floors because it looked like there were like brown spots all over my carpet, and there weren't brown spots, they were like chunks of my hair, and that was like really bad. Every time that I would brush my hair in the shower, every time I would wash my hair in the shower, I would see tons of loose hair all over the place, like really, really bad. So I started taking collagen peptides. I shared that with you guys. It's just a powder. I put it in my coffee first thing in the morning. You can also put it in a smoothie and kind of just add that into your diet somehow. I've been doing that now probably for 2 or 3 months, and I feel like it has helped. So this month I have noticed that my hair loss has been a little bit less. Obviously it could just be time. I don't know if it's 100% due to the collagen peptides, but collagen peptides are supposed to help with like hair, skin, and nails. And I've already shared with you the fact that I do feel like it has helped my skin. Like right now I don't have any kind of foundation, any makeup on like on my skin, so this is like bare skin. Some days my face is better than others. Like some days, like when I was in Florida for some reason, like anytime I put any product in my skin, like since I was putting sunscreen and stuff, my skin will break out whenever I put sunscreen and other products on it. So some days are better than others, but I do feel like the collagen peptides have just given my skin a little bit of life. I feel like it was really dull before, so I've been happy with the results that I've been seeing. I'm going to continue to take them. They don't taste like anything to my knowledge. They don't really have any bad effects, like either it helps you or it does nothing. So I feel like I'm making some progress. Like at least every time that I shower now, I'm not seeing chunks of hair falling out. I mean, you know, there's still spots where my hair is not as full as I would like it to be, but I feel like we're moving in the right direction. How are you doing mentally? Struggling with any postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety? I am still anxious. I still have days when I have a lot of anxiety. I still have those really irrational fears, like just stupid things. Like we have a baby gate here on the 2nd floor since we have a 2-story house, and we have a baby gate, and for some reason, like sometimes I'll be in bed and it's like 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm like, what if Riley wakes up in the middle of the night and climbs out of her crib, which she has literally never done, and she makes her way into the hallway and then she opens up the gate, which is literally impossible for her to open, and she falls down the stairs and she dies. Like literally these are the thoughts that go through my head sometimes, and it's pretty crazy. Like we went on our road trip to Florida, and every time that we went on a bridge or anytime that we were like on a really high highway and looking down, there's water or just it was like really high up. I have a very big fear of heights. I'm like, this is it, we're gonna go off of the bridge and we're gonna plummet to our death and fall into the water. I have like a lot of anxiety about things happening to me or things happening to my children, and all of the stuff happening in the world right now, like all of this stuff, everything that is literally happening right now does not help in the slightest. So I would say that I'm anxious more than I am depressed. I am tired. My body is tired. Mentally, there are days when I am tired. I cannot deal with whining and constantly, you know, like Riley is driving me crazy some days because it's just non-stop whining and non-stop. I tell her something and she says no, and God, I love her and she is the cutest, sassiest little thing and she cracks me up, but she drives me crazy. And then having Jackson adds to that, and then, you know, if she's not whining, he's whining, and he's a baby, it's okay, he's allowed to whine, but mentally it's really hard. But depression, I do not think that I have suffered from like depression. I am all of the other things that I have mentioned, but I wouldn't say that it's been like a deep sadness or depression where I can't get out of bed or anything like that. Have you gotten your period yet? Still no period. So 6 months postpartum, no period yet. I keep taking the Slind pill. That's the birth control that I'm taking, and I still haven't gotten a period yet. Actually, like I'm on the part of the pack where right now I should be starting my period and still don't have any period. So I mean, I'm grateful for the fact that I don't have a period. I hate having my period, but I also want to make sure that there's like nothing else wrong with me. And that's something that I did want to mention, by the way. I may, like once we get back home and settled in and stuff, I need to find a new gynecologist here in the Virginia area. So I am planning on making an appointment, and at that appointment I may ask them about getting back on the NuvaRing. I used to use the NuvaRing, I think before I even had Riley. Like when I was like before babies, I used to use the NuvaRing and I really liked it. I feel like these mini pills or these pill birth controls, they just make me insane. So I'm gonna explore the options that I have for birth control because I'm not necessarily 100% happy with how the pills make me feel. I feel like my temper is always a lot shorter and I just am more irritable in general, ask Joe. So I'm gonna go check that out just to see if there's not anything different that I can do. Has the line on your stomach gone away? Mine hasn't yet, 5 months postpartum. So normally when I do these updates, I'm in my room and I have my mirror that I can show you my stomach in, but I'm gonna just kind of see if I can can show you like this. I'm wearing right now these like high-waisted maternity biker shorts that I got from Amazon, but obviously I'm not pregnant right now. But this is what my stomach looks like 6 months postpartum. So this is what it looks like from the side, and this is what it looks like from the front. I know, just beautiful angle here. I would say that the line is kind of still there, but very faint, I would say. There's still stretch marks. I still have some saggy skin here. You guys can see all of those wrinkles. They haven't really gone away, but it is what it is. Being in Florida with my parents this month, I did gain a couple pounds because I was eating Cuban food and we were ordering a lot of takeout and stuff, and you know, it was a good time with my family, and I was eating candy and stuff. So I gained like 2 or 3 pounds, not anything crazy, but I did gain a little bit of weight. So right now I'm weighing about 117, 118 pounds, which I'm happy with. Like, that's even less than I was weighing before I had Jackson. But I'm trying to like maintain that weight. I really like how I feel when I'm even like 5 pounds less than I usually was. Like, I was used to being 120 pounds, and when I'm like 115, I overall just feel a lot better. So I'm trying to keep an eye on what I'm eating, just drinking a lot of water, staying hydrated, and then just making smart choices about what I eat. I still have candy, I still have chocolate, I still have cookies because I can't control myself. But that's like the exception and not the rule. If I'm eating healthy 80% of the time, then I can treat myself 20% of the time, and that's just how I go about my diet. Did I put anything on my stretch marks to lighten them? I honestly haven't been putting anything on my stretch marks. I have some oils that every once in a while I'll like put on, but like if I put them on like once every 2 weeks, like that's a lot. Like, I really don't put anything on daily or even weekly because I suck at using products. Like, I'm not very consistent even with like skin routine. Like, I'm just not a products person. But they have faded with time. They haven't been as noticeable, not as dark, but they're still there. And the saggy skin, like, there's nothing that I can do, I don't think, other than like surgery to get rid of that. I have been doing some crunches, which sometimes people will tell you not to do crunches because of like that ab separation that happens, which I need to do more research on. But I have been doing some crunches, and I've been doing like some leg exercises this week. Like, I've been doing calf raises and squats and some arm presses or whatever you want to call them with the dumbbells. That's it. That's all I have time for. But maybe one day I'll be able to get a treadmill in here, and then maybe while the kids sleep I'll at least get like 20 minutes of just walking quickly on the treadmill because I don't run. So how do you get things done with a toddler and a baby? That is something that I get asked a lot. How I manage everything in my life and YouTube and all of that. And I just want to make things very clear. I do the best that I can. I literally just try to survive. Every day is different, but I am not a clean freak, okay? My house is not clean. My house is not spotless. My house is not Pinterest worthy because that's not a super big priority in my life. My priority is keeping myself motivated and engaged and meeting my goals like YouTube and other things that bring me joy, while of course #1 priority, taking care of my kids and keeping them happy and keeping them safe and, you know, doing all the things with the kids. But cleaning and stuff, like, yes, I do laundry and I keep my kids having clothes and us having clothes, and I try to keep things as tidy as possible. But like, I haven't done a deep clean in my house in a really long time, and maybe that sounds gross, okay? But I only have so many hours in a day, and it's impossible to get everything done all the time. It's just about prioritizing things and figuring out what is most important at that moment, that day. What is it that you have to accomplish? The other day I did have to clean toilets because it had been a little while since the bathrooms had been cleaned. So that day my priority for the house was cleaning all the bathrooms, and I told Joe, hey, today if there's one thing I do for the house, it's I've got to clean bathrooms. And we made that a priority, and I said, okay, you've got to watch the kids for a little while so I can do that. And that's what we did. And as far as cooking goes, we never cook anything fancy. Everything that we make is like chicken breast with a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and some veggies, or spaghetti and meatballs, or frozen pizza, or Joe will grill some stuff, and just like quick and easy meals. So I don't want you guys to think for a second that I'm a gourmet chef or anything like that, or that we're super fancy, because that would be giving you the wrong impression. It is hard to manage a house and to manage children. So anything that you're doing, if you're keeping your children alive and they're here and you're alive and you're somewhat sane, then you're doing a good job. Do you ever feel normal again? You guys are so funny. No. Any pain at all down there? Also, a lot of questions about that. Right now, I can say no, and it's gotten better every month. So maybe a month ago, there was a little bit of pain during adult activities, and now, no. Things are looking good. Libido though, you guys kill me with these questions. Libido is still like not at the top of the priority list either because I'm freaking tired, okay? All right, so I'm gonna put the phone down. I just can't even look at my phone anymore at this point in the night. So if there are any questions that I didn't get to that you asked me, you can leave them down below in the comments, or over on Instagram, you can DM me, and I've been trying to do my best to get to my DMs, even though I don't always, and I'm sorry. But before I wrap up, there is one thing that I want to talk about that's more about Joe and I's relationship. So this is something that I'm gonna share, and hopefully it helps you, at least one person who's watching this. So last month, Joe and I were really struggling. I'm not sure if I shared it in my postpartum update or in a vlog, or if I shared it at all, but last month was really hard for us. Like, we weren't communicating super well, and we were just kind of like fighting a lot, to be honest. And I've talked about how it's hard, like when you bring one baby home and now you have another baby, like anytime that there are kids involved with the marriage, I believe that the dynamic somewhat changes. And we haven't gotten like the best routine. I mean, granted, there's been so much going on and we've been traveling back and forth. It's been hard for us to develop a routine, but we had been struggling in that department. I kind of felt for a long time, honestly, that I wasn't necessarily being appreciated for like the stuff that I do with the kids. Like, Joe is a great husband and he helps me so much, and I know that he loves me, and like we are solid, we are good. But there was a part of me that, like, all of this stuff that I would do with the kids all day long, just holding them, feeding them, entertaining them, you know, keeping them out of stuff that they're not supposed to touch, all of those things, there's so much about being a mom that goes unseen, and there's so much about taking care of a baby that like your partner may not see or may not recognize. And for me, like, I know that words of affirmation, that's one of my love languages. Like, I have completely come to terms with that I need for someone to tell me like, hey, you are doing a great job, or hey, I appreciate you for doing XYZ. That does like wonders for me, and it kind of gives me the motivation to keep going. Maybe that sounds stupid. Like, I know that I shouldn't need like a pat on the back to keep watching my children. But that's just what works for me. So long story short, like, we had been fighting a little bit. We called up my mom, who gives great marriage advice. Mimi is the best. And we kind of told her what had been going on. And she recommended that we try every night before bed, like just spending 5 minutes together. And number one, praying really quick, which Joe and I, we used to never pray together. Like, I thought the idea of like praying with him was kind of corny, and like praying out loud, like even cornier. Even though I'm very like spiritual, and I've told you that I've been raised Catholic, like that was always like a me thing and not a me and Joe thing. But we have been praying this last month together, and I really liked that. But in addition to that, she recommended that we just look at each other and we just say one thing that we appreciated about the other person. And it sounds really stupid. It sounds really juvenile even, but taking those minutes, like for him to say, hey babe, I appreciated that you watched the kids today, or I appreciated that you spent time with Riley outside, or I appreciated that you were able to calm Riley down when she was having the tantrum. Like, those little things to me have meant a lot, to know that my husband has seen that, and that he has taken note of that, and that he can communicate to me that he has seen those things and that he appreciates them, because I feel just more appreciated. I don't feel as taken for granted, like, hey, it's your job, like obviously you're the mother, obviously you should be doing this. Like, yes, it's my job, and yes, I should be doing it, but it's nice to be appreciated. And same with him. Like, there's a lot of stuff that he does. Obviously he's working and he's providing for the family, and he helps with the cooking, and he helps with the cleaning, and he does Riley's nighttime routine, and there's so many other things that he does. So me stopping at the end of the day and saying, hey babe, I appreciated that you worked so hard today for us, or that you have been helping to provide for us and to, you know, give us the stability that we have right now, I really appreciate it. it has just done really wonders for us. I feel more loving feelings towards him and less of a need to be like snappy towards him. I feel like we're more of a team as opposed to like fighting against each other, and it's just been really nice. So that's how I'm gonna wrap up this update. 6 months postpartum, half a freaking year. It has been the biggest roller coaster of my life, but also the best, funnest time with 2 kids. I love the fact that we're a family of 4, and watching Riley and Jackson interacting with each other, it's my favorite thing in the world. I really look forward to being able to like get outside this house soon and hopefully be able to explore our town. I think that's gonna help our overall dynamic too, like getting into a routine and stuff like that. But yeah, that's what we're doing. We're here, we're alive, we're healthy, and for that I just am eternally blessed, and I don't take that for granted because there are so many people that are not in that situation. So even though things are crazy, even though I'm tired, all of the things that I mentioned, I'm still very thankful for everything that we have right now. So that's it. I know this video is long, like all of my freaking videos. Like I just need to start figuring out how to make these videos a little shorter. But thank you guys so much for watching and for supporting and for being here and for sharing your stories with all of us. Like, it really means a lot to me that we can share our feelings and that we can talk about awkward things, hard things, because we don't do that enough. We really don't. And then that's the problem. Then somebody says something like this that's hard or awkward and they're like, wow, like you're a weirdo. But we're really not. It's just that most people don't talk about stuff like this. So that's it. I love you guys. I hope you are doing great. If you found this video useful, insightful, entertaining, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.